So welcome everybody to our leader meetup on February 6th. And I'm Helen Baratta, and just so excited to be here. Uh, like I said, we just finished the third week of 3 weeks to a healthier you. First Place runs it now 3 times a year, January, April, and August. And it's just a free, it's just to introduce people to First Place. You all mostly all know about it. But it was cool. We started with it's so funny. 175 people registered, 43 people showed up the first week. I think we had 25 today. So as the time progresses, less and less, goes. But I also, maybe you all have experienced this. The enemy likes to sort people out of First Place for Health. I think this program is so amazing, and I feel like the enemy just likes to get people and try and get them not to lead and not to do. And
Mhm.
he's so mean. When people call into our 800 number, as leader, I answer the leader calls. I often pray for them when they want to start a group, and I don't want to scare people, but I want to say, okay, now the enemy does not want you to lead people to place Christ first, because it's and so be aware that the enemy doesn't want you to succeed at this. And I feel like sometimes we just have to say, you're not stopping me, no matter what, you know, because he really does try and mess with us. Can I get an
Oh,
amen from those? I
amen.
know.
Yep.
So anyway, this week we always talk about a topic. Each month we pick a topic, but this month, Vicky actually asked me to write that newsletter about dealing with difficult people. And so tonight, I thought we would just continue the discussion on dealing with difficult people or difficulties within your group. And so I was going to actually kind of open it up to you guys to see what difficulties have you experienced. And you don't have to use anybody's name or anything, but what are some difficulties? If you read the email, I had an opinionator, a dominator. Oh, I can't remember the third one. I'll have to go look. So it's in the leadership book too. So I'm opening it up. Who has a difficult, who's dealt with, they don't even have to be difficult anymore. Maybe somebody with a successful difficult situation. Anybody?
Mm,
I'm tickled to say that I'm a new leader and my group just started the 1st of January and I haven't had any of those yet.
Yay! That's good.
Yeah. And I also want to say that one of your ladies from the 3 weeks program, she heard my introduction that I did at the church in December, encouraging them to come and to sign up with me the first week of January. And she said she wasn't really ready, but I did tell them about the 3 weeks to a healthier you as how I became interested in the program. And she actually said she wasn't ready to start a real study yet, but signed up for the 3 weeks for a healthier you. And she went to your first class the first Monday and emailed me that following Wednesday and said, "Can I please join your class? I love it already and I want more." And
Well,
so she's in my class
yay!
now. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
good.
That's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful.
So I thought
That's
you'd like
cool.
that success story.
That's a wonderful, awesome. I
Yeah.
know we really do focus on people need to be in a group, that's like the focus and stuff.
Mhm.
Because I know I can talk about the inner circle now. We just rolled out a new model to
Mm-hmm.
replace our old membership model called the inner circle. And so they're asking me the inner circle. And one of the discussions that Vicky and Lisa and I had was, we love the inner circle and it's to support you and to support us, but we want people to be in a group. Like, we don't want them to do just the inner circle. Like, it's like the inner circle is to support you. It is it shouldn't be the only thing you do. But somebody in my three, well, I can't get in a group until the end of March. Can I do I was like, yeah, sure. But
Mhm.
we also, when you sign up as a new person to the inner circle, in the email you get, it says to be sure to be in a group, find it. It has a link to how to find a group because, I'm preaching to the choir here. You all agree. So,
Yeah.
all right. It was the Rambler was the third person. That's the problem. And so, Alicia, you might not have anybody but sometimes we get the Rambler who gets you off topic. Sometimes the Rambler is a nice person, but all of a sudden it's like, the movie Up Squirrel, like all of a sudden you're talking about something. How did we get on this topic? And I mean, it happens. And I think as the leader, we literally have to interrupt the person in that case. A lot of times the Rambler, or you're just waiting for them to take a breath. And as soon as they take a breath, you have to be like, okay, I really love this story, but we have to get back to, people are just waiting. I was talking to another leader about this topic, and I said, people are waiting for the leader to take charge again. They really are. It is our job as the leader to get it back on track. Now, Carla's here, and I co-led with Carla for a couple sessions, and I can be the Rambler. I'm just saying. She's laughing. I can be the Rambler. I can get us off topic, and I actually need somebody to be like, Helen, where are we? Carla was one of my, Helen, let's do this next. So
yeah. Oh, we got a Rambler without you.
yeah.
But you're past my bedtime. I should have been in bed an hour and a half ago. I'm in bed.
I know. Well, I'm glad you're here. Even though we don't see you, I'm glad to hear your voice, Carla, because I miss you. I saw her every week, but now I've let that group go. I'm not taking up a new group because I'm moving. Some of you guys know, but I'm moving back to Pittsburgh. We're actually booked our airplane yesterday. March 1st is our first day back in Pennsylvania.
Wonderful.
So our house is sold, and we're in that crazy, appraisals and surveys, and the termite inspector just came and all that stuff. But our last day here on this island is the 28th of February, and we're on a red eye. March 1st is our first day back in Pittsburgh.
Wonderful.
So anyway, Ramble, see? There I went.
I have a dominator in my group. She's really an extrovert, and most of the group are introverts. And she comes up with the answer, and I've had to call her a couple of times on the phone separate and say, would you just wait for at least one other person to talk before you get in there? Because she just answers she can't wait for somebody else to answer. She's a challenge.
Yeah, and it sounds like you said you had to call her a couple times, so she gets better for a little while, and then you have to remind her again.
Yeah, so today she really was there all the time. It was like, so I need to call her and talk with her again. And she's got to wait for at least one other person to talk first.
See, I don't know how big your group is, but for those people, I say 2 or 3 people have to. Like, well, I make them wait even longer than one person.
Yeah, well.
She might not be able to do that, right?
No. At least she's still with us. She hasn't given up, She's
right.
Still getting back on track. That's her thing. Prayer request each time, get back on track. Well, get on track, kid.
Look at you. Well, Marilyn, I know that you love your group, and you are manager, so you're doing the right thing. I really do feel like one-on-one behind the scenes is the thing to do with
Sure.
all 3 of them, actually, to start with. I literally, you share so easily, and so many people don't. Like, explaining, you're easy at it, but you can see that everyone else, like, you have to let that pregnant pause be there, because people want to fill it up. They're uncomfortable, but those introverts, they need that space.
Yeah. Well, they need to be invited specifically,
Right. I mean, I think we all have it, because the opposite of this is the person that doesn't speak at all. And Carla's here. We had a person in our group that never spoke. Like she didn't even turn her video on the first, like at the first two meetings at all. We didn't even know what she looked like. But she came. I don't
Yeah.
think she signed up this last session, but she did come. And then the cool thing is she came to Wellness Week, which Maryland, so I got to meet her in person. And so connected with her at a whole different level, which worked out for her and me, which was nice.
And she's
Because,
coming back the next section, but she does taxes. This is her tax
oh,
season.
that's right. Well, Carla will surely follow up on that. Make sure that happens. Good. And she did share a little bit once she met me, like but she was somebody that is the other way. Like she would, if we never called on her, she would never have shared ever. I think she was so, and I've had a lot of, you have to know those people. And then, I sometimes point people to the back of the book, the introverted people, to the back of the Bible study, and tell them that there's discussion questions back there. Because I really think that some people have no idea that there's actual discussion questions that the leaders might use in the back of the book. But some of the introverts I find want to know what the questions are ahead of time. And so for my introverts, I oftentimes say, I'm not going to ask all, I tell them we may not go over all the questions, but here are the questions that we'll probably use if,
Yeah.
But I do think, and then I sometimes do like, all right, Kim, we haven't heard from you in a while. So maybe not now, but the next question, I want to make sure, like I just am setting like, I need to hear from you soon kind of a thing is that. One thing that I saw one group do because we record our video, a lot of our groups record, and I send the recordings to the leaders. And I observed this in one group, which I thought was cool, is that they had people read a prayer from like, okay, in the middle of the group, how about somebody read day 5's prayer that the start of the day? And so they picked the introverts to read the prayer, and she even would tell them in advance. So they actually spoke, if that makes sense. Like if you have someone very introverted that's not going to be comfortable sharing, I thought that was a very interesting way of bringing them into the discussion.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. I've never seen that done before. So I thought it was, hey, that's cool. I like that idea.
Good idea.
Yeah. Because the prayers are awesome. There's, all right. So Maryland has the Dominator for sure.
Yep.
It's not unusual that you have to follow up with them.
Yeah.
I had a great,
okay.
Go ahead, Kim.
No, I'm saying I'm okay right now, but I have in the past. I've had the one that rattles on and on and on topics, and you're like, where are you going? And but right now, knock on wood, I'm a-okay.
Right.
So,
well, someone I didn't write an article about, but I have had in my group is someone that is tragically depressed. And so in one of my groups that I actually had someone who over the course of time tried to commit suicide 3 times while I was her leader. And that person can really drag the group down, like and so I just wanted to talk about it. I didn't necessarily want to write about it, but talk about that. I find though that God brought that person to our group for that time, and our group's job, I helped our group see we're here to support this person. And that person, ended up being hospitalized multiple times and, went through a long process, but she is living a productive, vibrant life now. And so it was just, I realized that, and me as the leader, it wasn't just me, our group had to love on this person. I, as a leader, went and visited her in the hospital, and like I was the leader, I felt like I needed to do more than everybody else, but I did go visit her in the hospital, and that was, but another thing, if you are going to do a hospital visit, I'll just say you don't have to go for a long time. I just would go for 10 minutes. You don't have to go sit there and be there forever. But the fact that you went and visited them is such a blessing to the person that you took the time to do that. And in the virtual world, I can't really do that. But I'm just saying, I just ask God, why is this person here in my group? That's the, whether they're the dominator, the rambler, the opinionator, or, the person that really is, they bring the group down, I think is the best way I can explain it.
Mhm.
And, but we were there to help them. And I feel like that we have to say, why are they here, God? What? And not, why are they here, God? And we might be that way because he knows how we feel. I mean, it's okay to say that when the person's driving us crazy. But sometimes I think it could be for us too. We're,
Mhm.
Lord, what do I need to learn from this? So, all right. So how about the opinionator? I like the opinionator name because in first place, we can have opinions that somehow cross the line, to other people. I think we have to be careful about, people giving advice and, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the person that tells everybody what to do. Has
Yeah.
anybody?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kim.
I had one where, when I had a really large group, so I was like, I want to have you check the trackers and you keep track of this and that. And so this one girl, she was doing the trackers, and then she's giving them out and she's all happy. And then everyone's coming to me like, oh my God. And she was just putting horrible things on there. Like, how could you do this? How could you eat this? And you didn't. I'm like, no, that's not, you're just supposed to make sure they're filled out and and so, yeah, I had to take that job away.
That was not her gifting, right?
No, she's terrible. Yeah. Because people were like, we're not going to come. We're not going to fill it out. I'm like, no, I'll take that back. But you have to be gentle so you don't hurt that person's feelings and make them feel like they're really, So it was a little tricky there for a little bit, but.
Well, that's probably good for Alicia because she's new at leading and trackers can be tough.
Oh, yeah.
I think for me, with the group that I joined and participated in last year, I would turn it in, but I would never get any feedback back. And I wasn't sure, does that mean it was right? Do I need a comment? No, I wasn't certain how that piece of it worked. So I had a conversation with her separate and asked her some questions I had about how to fill it out accurately and things. And it was so funny. She goes, oh yeah, you're the one that eats all the protein. And I went, oh, that's me. And so hearing her say that, it told me, number one, that she really was looking at my tracker. And then I appreciated her, offering me some suggestions and things that, kind of helped me do a better job. So we've been right now for the first 4 weeks of my study with my group, I've just been encouraging them to write their food down. We're going to actually start Seek God First this Thursday. And this will be the first week that I make them turn it in to me. So I've been kind of thinking, what will be my process? Will I actually, and my hope is I want to actually look at them beyond just a check mark that they turned them in to say, okay, it doesn't look like you're getting enough dairy. Do we need to talk about how to work that into your daily schedule more? Just some constructive criticisms, I guess, of them is kind of the direction I'd like to take it. But then that depends on how much time I have to do that as well. I
Right.
only
I
have
was gonna say, yeah.
8 people, so but still 8 people. I mean, I still struggle with my own sometimes. So
Well, when I first started live in person, I would collect them at the beginning of the meeting, and then we would watch a video for the wellness topic when I first started, and I would try and look at them all during the video as fast as I could. But you have all new group members, and you're right. New group members, I look at their trackers differently than somebody that's been in it a long time. And so, but I try and focus on the positives. Like, look at, you did 5 days, like literally you tracked all 7 days, way to go. And I start at high level, and then as they get, as we progress, that's when I start, good job tracking. Looks like you need more vegetable, that comes after the praise. I always
Yeah.
okay,
praise.
that's good advice to do the praise
Yeah.
first.
Always praise, because like Kim said, you want them to keep tracking. As soon as if they only see critique, they're like, that's just one reason I'm not filling it out tomorrow, or I forget this.
Yeah.
And we're still
Well,
trying to get just a grasp with them in how to count and how to track. And we've had 2 nutrition lessons where we've really broken it down and spelled it out and filled out a sample tracker with sample meals and trying to educate them on how to do it. So
you really have done a lot of more than usual. So good job.
We had 4 weeks of introduction, just introduction to First Place for Health.
Good.
Was what we started with for January.
Yeah. Well, and it's all new, and that's good. I think that's good. And I love it. A thing that Vicky Heath does in her group is that you switch your tracker with who your prayer partner was last week. And that person looks at your tracker, and you give each other feedback. So that's just how she does it. Now, it might not work in a brand new group, but it's like a way to just, okay, oh, I see you do this, or I see you do that. So after you get going for a little while, it's almost like you need to tell them you're going to do it, because, especially if only the leader is. But I think I mean, it doesn't have to be the leader. But Kim, of course, learned you have to know, whoever is doing it, they need to be positive, and it needs to be encouraging. And I wanted to hear what Marilyn has to share about this too, because she's been doing this longer than me even.
Well, and the fact is, we're on Zoom now, and they won't send them to me.
Really? Okay.
It's been a real problem with that. But when I was getting them, it was, some of them, it was like, hey, you did wonderful for breakfast all week.
Right. Dinner's missing in action, right? Yeah.
They really hadn't, one in particular, she always did well for breakfast, and then the rest of the day she really messed up, or she didn't even fill it in.
Right.
But no, I need to really work at them this time to get them to send it in to me, because I can't help them if they don't see it.
Were they taking a picture to send it in to you? Is that how they were sending it in? Texting it?
Used to meet in person until COVID. And now,
well, I just have them take a picture of it, Marilyn. I mean, that's what, and well, Carla's on here. Carla, she fills hers out. She just sends it to me when she took a picture. Carla has details, like this lady plans her meals. I'm telling you, if you ever want to have some idea on how to plan meals, Carla's your girl.
That's right.
She does a whole plan. Go ahead. Yeah. So Carla's are very detailed. And then on some of my people do My Fitness Pal, but I make them send it to me as a PDF, Marilyn. If you have a computer or an iPad, you can go into My Fitness Pal and save it as a PDF, and then they can send it to you, like printable version, and save it. So, and Alicia, that's what I do, because some people would rather use My Fitness Pal, and I'm like, okay, Well, I still want you to turn it in.
Yeah.
So
I do
that's
have a couple of people that did want to use the MyFitnessPal, and my question on that, because I'm a paper person, was how do they keep up with the quantities converted to like the way First Place for Health tracks?
so if you look under helpful forms and things, I actually wrote an article about you can make your MyFitnessPal. One, you can change it instead of having breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. It can say fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, dairy, fat. So that's one
Okay.
way of doing it. That's one way of doing it. It's a little harder because you can't put lunch in, eat breakfast. You have to put a grain in, put dairy in, you know. So not everybody likes that way, which I understand. Or I make them do the tick marks at the top of a paper tracker. They can do MyFitnessPal, but they still have to turn in the little tick mark to me that shows that they know how many fruits and vegetables they got in a day.
Okay.
So if that does that make sense? You know, like
It
how
does, and that's kind of what I told them. I said I want you to, until you get the hang of it, log it
right,
in your Fitness Pal, but then take the tracker and try to see until you get an idea of are you doing the right thing or not.
exactly. If you're new to my group and use MyFitnessPal, I say I want a paper tracker for the first 2 weeks. So
Okay, that's kind of what we said too
yeah,
while you're learning.
I'm mean like that. Like I'm like that. Ask Carla. I'm like, no. I mean, trackers are important, and I mean, Marilyn has been leading the group a long time. The people that trackers are important, but eventually, if you are healthy, you should be able to get to a point where you can maintain your weight without a tracker. Like that is like, you know, now I can maintain my weight without a tracker, but I cannot lose weight without a tracker. I guess that's where I am. And even if I go 3 weeks without a tracker, uh, my weight, you know, it's, you know, there's a half a pound there, you know, I know it, you know, it's like, okay, well, I want that off. I don't want, I'm going back that way, if that makes sense. But trackers are just mindfulness. It's a way of paying attention. And that's what we have to keep telling people because I don't know how we got trackers, but that's how it got. Yeah. There you go.
Makes them more aware of what they're doing or not doing.
And
I think so.
Yeah.
And people that are perfectionists really can get stuck on the tracker. They tend to not do it at all because they feel like they can't do it right. Like I've seen people that it just stops them in their tracks because I can't do it right, so I'm not going to do it at all. It's just a way for the enemy. I'm just saying, just know that the enemy is going to do whatever he can because it's a great tool. It's a tool to help us. So, all right. This has been good discussion. We talked about our difficulties. I did just want to say we're going to have difficulties over the course of our lifetime. Even we could have difficulties, you know, something horrible could happen in our life and stuff, and we need to ask for help, or something natural like Marilyn had her knee replaced. You know, that was a difficult time, but she turned her group over to other people, and they led, and she has assistants now that help lead with her still to this day because of that. So she handled that difficulty well. And really, again, our group members are just, they need to have a safe place to be, and we need to deal with the difficult. That's our job. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to move on to the inner circle, which we had a whole webinar about it, but just say it's a new way. It replaced our membership levels, and we're excited about it. And we would love, the thought process for us is that more people would join the inner circle if it was less expensive, and we would actually get more participation. And so we really are hoping that leaders will help us, you know, recommend it and say, get in the inner circle and support First Place, and, you know, get back some awesome information every week. So join the inner circle, and we have it set $2.99 a month, or you can join for a year and get a free month. So you get 11 months for 12 months. It's $32.90, I think, for a year. And so, and then for those people that were already for people that were supporting, well, we want to give more. We would love for you to donate money to us. So that we all donations are an important part of First Place for Health too. So on our website now, when you go to donations, there's a monthly donation option, and you can sign up to give a monthly donation as well. So we would be glad for you to do that. And that's easy to manage as well. So let me think, what else? We have Restore Me coming up in May, which is at Sandy Cove, which we highly recommend. Marilyn, actually, I'll just give Marilyn kudos. She's used to this. She actually helped us with the very first Restore Me. She invited me up to Cape Cod, and we started this Restore Me. I had this idea, and I did it with her group. And then the next year we actually had it in Cape Cod. The first full-blown Restore Me was up in Cape Cod after I came up and did like a retreat with her group focused on strongholds and freedom and stuff. So it's been very cool. And so we have it at Sandy Cove now because Sandy Cove has this beautiful facility. They offer us a great rate. We partner with them. And so I can't say enough. You can fly into Baltimore, Washington International Airport. Philadelphia Airport is also close by.
I find it easier to go into Philadelphia myself.
Do you? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Philadelphia is just as close. So it just depends on where you're doing, what works for you, but either one.
Flying from as to
Yeah. In and out of, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
We're driving down this time. At least Bev and I will come drive down.
Oh, are you coming this? Yay.
I haven't put my registration in, but Bev and I have talked about the fact that she's going to need to pick me up because usually I drive out to her house.
Oh, yeah.
But coming home, we don't get home till like 8 or 9 at night. I can't drive at night.
Right, right.
Hey, well, we can arrange to pick you up. So it's going to be a little different. But we're hoping that we can get a couple of others from our class because we've had the whole group come before. But
well, Marilyn, Monique is coming. So make sure you contact Monique because maybe she could ride with you guys.
okay.
So she's serving as a small group leader. So she's already took off the vacation. We asked her ahead of time because she has vacation. So sorry, guys. Monique was anyway, she's one of the first long-term first placers too. So Sandy Cove, it's May 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. It's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And I just be there. That's all I could say. It's worth your time and effort. It is just awesome. And it's just a lot of it's something that you do for yourself. Come for yourself. It's really a retreat to spend time with God, with you, to be restored. And we really do focus on strongholds and what it's called making us new, setting us free. And it's about getting set free of the strongholds that are holding us back. So this year, it'll be up on the website soon. We have Cindy Shirley is our main speaker, and Kristen Hunt is our worship leader. And Cindy Shirley helped us develop our whole emotions and eating curriculum back in I want to say a long time, 2008 actually, but she was instrumental in us dealing with the emotional eating aspects, which eventually came into the My Discovery stuff. And so we've come a long way since she helped us start, but she really is, she is has a master's degree and a licensed Christian counselor and stuff, and just really powerful speaker for us. And so we're excited about that. So that's Restore Me. We have Summit. Summit is going to be virtual this year. So it is just virtual, but we are going to have watch parties in Pittsburgh, South Carolina, and Houston, which is basically where the staff lives. We're going to have watch parties. And so we have that set, but you can watch, it'll be like it wasn't, virtually, you attend virtually, and it'll be on the same platform with a bunch of different speakers that you can watch outside of that, and then you'll have 40 days to watch it
Mhm.
everything. It'll be recorded, and then you'll have 40 days to take it all in, all you want. So that's cool.
And
And
Wellness Week is well worth it. Taking a
what?
vacation out there. Wellness Week out there
Yes,
at
go
Round Top.
for it. Preach it, girl.
Absolutely. Ah,
It is. Yes, Wellness Week is a lot. It's a Thursday to a Thursday. Maryland's been many times. Since I've gone the first time, I've gone every year since then. That's kind of one of those things. It's like you go. Same with Summit. I don't think I've ever missed a Summit since 2010, and I wasn't always on staff. So that's where I met. Well, I don't know where I met Marilyn. I met Marilyn a bunch of times. There's no telling where I met Marilyn.
Summit. I think it was at the summits that I
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
in
I
Texas.
don't know. I might have been in New Jersey, but maybe not, because I met.
In Jersey.
No. Okay.
Monique, I didn't go
That's
to.
when I met Monique. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Wellness Week Summit, Restore Me. Got it. And the next week, the webinar is on healthy, happy families, kids. Megan Keith is going to be coming to us about that. So that's exciting.
Mhm.
I think that's it. That's all I have for. So I'm going to just open it up for. I'm going to stop the recording, and we're going to talk about what we need. How's that? And then we'll come back and finish up. So everybody, we just had a wonderful small group time with our leaders here today, and we talked about our celebrations and our struggles and our prayer requests, how we can pray for one another. And that's a thing that I learned in my coaching classes is to, when you're meeting one-on-one with, ask people, what can you
Mhm.
celebrate? And then what are your, what are your struggles? What are you helping with? And then finally, what's your action plan? That's the third question when you're, how can I pray for you? But what action? What are you actually going to do? So as we talked about difficult people, I just want to encourage everybody to deal with the difficult. It's worth it. Your group is praying that the leader will deal with the difficult. So look at Kim knows it's true.
Oh, yeah,
And we've probably
yes.
been in other situations where we're not the leader and we want the leader to deal with the difficult person. So,
Yep.
Lord Almighty, I thank you so much for today, for the leaders that are here and the leaders that will be watching this video later. Lord, you understand the difficult. You've been through every difficult situation and you understand. And so let us continue to go seek God first when we're in difficult situations, Lord. We need to call out, Lord, help us with the difficult situation. Give us the courage and the strength, but also the compassion and the patience and the persistence to do what you call us to do, Lord, to lead others to place Christ first. And most importantly, Lord, help us to lead ourselves to placing you first, Lord. Let us be a godly example. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.